So you see everyone pull out the menu. I always looked at this when I was younger and I was like, you got to be kidding me. But it's a thing, right? Like glasses come on, you look at the menu. For me, because I wear contacts, like multifocal contacts, what happens is like it's hard for me to see when it's darker. So I have to take a photo of the menu
and then make it bigger.
Make it bigger and like have the light on. Look, we're not here to sell you transformation. We're here to share some truths. Because this stage of life can sneak up on you in the best possible way.
There's a new quiet swagger that comes with it. One you earn simply by being you. We'll walk with you. You don't have to be anywhere else. Turns out it's good here. And sometimes it's even great.
Welcome back, you guys. Okay, we're going there. We're going to talk about bodies and how they change. And we're going to make a solid case in this episode that your body is not betraying you at 50 plus. Maybe it's just talking a little louder than normal.
Sometimes it's screaming.
Maybe.
But, you know, I think I and we were, I speak for myself, a bit hesitant about how I was going to approach this topic because one thing we didn't want to do, there's so many great podcasts and books and information out there about things that maybe weren't so much talked about before, like menopause or things changing. And I guess my hesitancy, is that a word?
Yeah. You're hesitant. It's a hesitancy.
Yeah, that's not how we want to approach it.
No.
I don't want to bang on about perimenopause whilst we're both in it, and we'll touch on it. And I don't want to be all doom and gloom either. So if it sounds a bit different, the way we talk about it, that was my hesitancy.
It's very valid because for those of you that have been around us for a while and listened to our episodes, you know that that's not our angle or our take.
It's not the language we try to use. There is a reality and we are going to be vulnerable and share that. That was something I was unsure about how I wanted to approach it. But I think being open and sharing is really important. But we do have a different angle on it.
We do.
And that's not to say, I just wanted to preface this episode that we're not trying to have this toxic positivity around it. I know Gay's mentioned how that can be quite destructive. There's a reality, but then there's also what you do about that reality. And I think that's where we try to sit and leave the reality, the depth of those conversations to the experts.
Very true. I think our take is more that ultimately your body is changing as you get older. I mean, from the time you're a child, it's going to change all the time. That's a given. But we have a choice about how we manage the changes and how we have self-talk and how we move through the changes. And that's what this is more about, right?
Yeah, think about this. It just dawned on me, right? When you're in your early teenage years, you go through puberty. There are some massive changes. If you're a girl, you get your periods. Right? Different things for boys, but definitely massive things that have a physical and mental impact on who you were before them and what changes. But as much as they're a difficult time, we don't look at it as like, oh my God, life is over. It's part of developing.
It's like
and
life has begun.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So why, yes, I know we're getting older and there's a finality to that at some point, but that's not really healthy to think about. But the flip side of it is we as females are going through perimenopause, which is, it's just an older version of puberty. I have seen some funny T-shirts around that says, you know, I'm not going through menopause, I'm going through older puberty or something funny like that. There's some cool ones, right? But you know what? Again, it's just dawning on me now as we talk about it. Why can't we say, is it shit? Yeah, it's shit when you first get your periods or you get pimples or your voice changes or you don't feel like yourself. Yeah, it's shit. But it's the reality. So what can you do? Who can you be? Where can you get help? Are you asking for help?
Yeah.
Are you supporting yourself in the ways that you can, both professionally and simple things like going for a walk and being kind to yourself? Cheesy, maybe, but we're not hard on a baby when they can't walk. We teach them. We don't go, oh, you're so silly, you don't know how to walk.
Yeah.
We celebrate every step, one step at a time. When your child or a child is going through puberty, we don't go, life's over. It's just a development stage. So I think that's the thing.
That's a good way of looking at
Yeah.
it. Like this, I guess, midlife and beyond, if we want to use the word midlife, is it's like translating what's happening to your body, right?
Yes.
And understanding it and working with it rather than a grand transformation, which is a lot of what we're seeing on social media these days.
I love
right?
that, what you said, that most of the work is translation, not transformation.
Yeah.
So translating what's happening to you, 100%. Stuff's happening. You need to look into it. You need to know what works for you.
You do.
You know, last week we talked about supplements and walking and good habits. Very important. In fact, you know, obviously outside of seeing an expert for whatever's going on for you, and we obviously urge you to do that, routines and rituals become so much more important because they hold up the rest of your day when you're not feeling so great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, translation, not transformation. So understanding it, getting information, doing
Working with it.
Working with it, not against it.
When we go to the restaurant in the evening and you know you're in a table of more than sort of 40, 45
Hang on a minute.
plussers.
If just listening and not watching on YouTube, hang on a second.
Glasses go on, okay?
Yeah.
Here's the
Glasses on.
So you see everyone pull out the menu. I remember I always looked at this when I was younger and I was like, you got to be kidding me. But it's a thing, right? Like glasses come on, you look at the menu. For me, because I wear contacts, like multifocal contacts, what happens is like it's hard for me to see when it's darker. So I have to take a photo of the menu
And then make it bigger?
Make it bigger and like have the light on.
I do that with
wow.
like instructions on the back of either a face mask or a jar of ingredients. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. So I take a photo, but it is so tiny as well. Like I will pass it to a younger friend sometimes and even they
can't
read
see it, right? So I guess that's the thing. And having humor around these moments as well. You know, like looking at things in a lighter lens.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? The truth is...
Yeah. What's the truth?
The truth is the wheels do fall off a little bit. And we referenced this last week and we said we were going to talk about it. We have this saying, which I think you coined with us, Heather, like when we get together each week and regularly, if one of us has had a bad week with anything to do with not feeling well, and some of it, yes, is 50 plus related, we just look at each other and we go, the wheels fell off this week.
So, look, I think aging, we're all going through it. It's just how you age, right?
Yes. Well, we always look at what's happening out in the world. Like who's an expert, obviously, that knows more about us or what's cultural trends are happening. So this is what I love, right?
Okay.
And not to be like, oh, go the old people, okay? But there is a cultural moment, which I love, just happens to work for us, about aging out loud. That's one way to call it. I think it's got a lot of names, you know, aging unapologetically.
Yeah.
But I'm not such a fan of that because that sounds like you get to be rude. And I think unapologetically, yes, in the sense of be you. There's this real cultural moment in the last sort of 3 to 5 years. And I just wanted to find some examples, right? Just to say, Helen Mirren, we love her,
Goddess.
right? Goddess. Now, not again, all of these things doesn't mean they're wrong or right, but she refuses cosmetic surgery. And she's more visible than ever. And people just have such a great take on her. We love her. She's incredible. And it's just nice to have a different representation of strong females in movies. Annie McDowell went grey on the Cannes red carpet in 2021. Mate, brave. Don't know if I could do that, but...
There's a lot of women going grey right now.
And amazing.
Yeah.
There's heaps of... older models now. I love how that's becoming a thing. If you look on Instagram, there's a whole bunch of influencers. Sandra Bullock, she took a multi-year pause and I think she came back to the movies at 60.
Great.
And amazing, right? Sure, still touring in her, wait for it, 80s.
Gold. Yeah.
Gold. This is cool. Martha Stewart, she's the oldest Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover model. Age...
81. And do you remember when she came out, she was doing ads with Snoop Dogg and she was all the younger people were, she's thirsting on social media.
Yeah.
Like,
and look, you know, as a
attention.
contrast to Helen Mirren, I know Martha Stewart has openly...
had work done.
She
looks really good.
She looks really good. So I wanted to bring both in because, look, whichever
path you go.
Yeah, whichever path you go.
Power to you.
Power to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing In the middle of that is Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, she admits she's had Botox and lip filler, but now she's the loudest critic simply because she says that the overemphasis on cosmetic surgery is wiping out a generation of natural faces.
Have you heard about how the French describe aging and lines in the face?
I want to know.
It's gorgeous. So the French sort of say that the way you wear your lines on the face prove the life that you've lived.
Yeah.
So it's like a passage of honor to have wrinkles. And I think that's absolutely gorgeous if you look at it in that way. Like, I've seen a lot of things come out on socials as well, probably because of my age bracket now too, but where women are saying, you know, I earned these lines from the tears, from the babies I've had, from the business deals I've done. Why would I want to erase them?
Yes. And you know what else? There is, yes, you can look at that as cliched natural beauty. I happen to be someone at this stage, and I never say never. I don't even go to a beautician. I don't do anything. But I don't begrudge anyone who does. But what I think stands out more, whether you do or you don't, is your personality. I've always found this, right? Someone who is kind over time ends up looking more beautiful to me.
Yeah.
Genuinely. And again, regardless of what work you have or haven't done, just are you a kind, good, compassionate, empathetic person? They become more beautiful to me. Like physically, they change in front of me. No kidding. Someone who's the reverse, who's maybe traditionally stunning, but is not a nice person, over time, they are not as beautiful to me. So whichever side of the fence you sit on, and I'm not advocating be totally natural or do alterations, that's so personal, and I'm not against either. I just know what I do. But I get both sides. But I think where I do stand strong is if you're a person of good kindness, there is an alluring beauty to that.
I like that you said that.
I really like that. I will say this. I don't want to say it's all rosy. I've had a bit of a wheels falling off year, actually. I mentioned last week at the beginning of the year, so it went like this. My husband needed to go away for a month to look after his mother, who had some things going on.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, great. I'll just get into work and walk the dog every day and just get into a good routine. The night he left, I woke up at 2 a.m. with a urinary tract infection. And I went, well, that's a great start to this month of, and I was leading up to massive work events.
Yeah.
And I remember I had a quick telehealth appointment, went up to the chemist and went next door to one of my favourite pastries and coffee stores nearby. And I said to the woman, coffee please, because I'd been up since 3 a.m. And she looked at me and she said, you don't need to say anything, but it only gets better from here. And I went, yep, which was great. It made me feel good. And I went home. I did feel better, right?
Yeah.
But then another wheel fell off. I'm like, okay, I've got the antibiotics. I'm good. I'm feeling better 2 days later. And then I'm like, what's that on the back of my leg?
Oh, God, I remember this.
Anyway, long story short, I had the shingles. So that entire month, I could not take a day off work because I had my biggest work period of the year. I didn't have any backup at home. I had to walk the dog every morning as per usual. And I had to keep going. And I don't say that to say, oh, wonderful me, but actually having a reason to get up and go for a walk, it did help. Like I'd have a coffee as soon as I got up and I'd go for that walk and I'd smile at the dog and I'd smile at people and I'd see my friends down at coffee club. And honestly, that one routine and that one thing got me through. I was trying to write notes today for our podcast and my hand cramped up. So are all those things true? Yes. Do we need to work harder at Pilates?
Yes.
Do we eat healthy and suddenly, excuse me, where did those kilos go? Sometimes? Yeah. Yes. That month taught me that, was it the worst thing? Did I have the worst thing ever? Have people done it alone before? Of course they have. But it was a shit month. Bladder infection, shingles, a migraine, a 30-day period, and work, the hardest work month of my year. So what became important is the little things that I could do. I did have to get up and go for that walk, and it's what got me through. So I think that's a really important thing to remember, that we touched on this very much in last week's episode about rituals, that those little things stack up, but the little things can make the biggest difference, and you cannot discount them.
No, they become how you live your life. You need to rely on them, because that's what I've been.
And whatever age you are, like all these things that happened to me, a version of that, or
Keeps
exactly, could happen to you in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, male, female, doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think right now I will mention our previous episode on habits and rituals, because that is what carries you through the wheels on the bus falling off moments.
Go back to that episode.
Yeah, I'm still working on finding my sort of equalization of my changes. And I'll talk about my changes a little bit that are bothering me, because I think this is, I want to be vulnerable with you guys, because everything's not sunshine and roses as you go through these moments in your life. Like, so I was feeling mighty fine with myself around the age of 49. I was like,
well, you know.
I was like, I am fit. I'm doing well. I felt really good in my skin. And then within 6 months, I gained 8 kilos out of nowhere. And they're still there. Oh, yeah. They're still there. To the point where I do not want to buy new clothes, because I'm like, oh, no, they're going to go. I don't know, you guys. I don't know if they're going to go. But that's one thing. I have had to buy bigger bras. My boobas have gotten bigger.
I don't know why that's funny, but it's the way
I said it. My boobas.
My boobas.
They've gotten bigger. I'm wearing
Hey, at least you didn't need surgery.
I got
people,
it. I know.
You got free pair of boobies.
They're there. I'm not sure about how I feel about them. I got a DEXA scan. I was told I have visceral fat for the first time.
You did not tell me that about you.
Because I don't want to
say it out loud.
I don't want to say it out loud. I actually have visceral fat because of the changes. So the weight that I've gained has gone straight to my midsection.
Which is the more dangerous fat. Yeah. But unfortunately, I don't think it's anything you're doing. Just, I will say this about you, because I know you so well.
Yeah.
And to share with everyone, because I'm sure others are feeling this as well.
Yeah.
You exercise really well. You do regular Pilates.
About that. Yeah.
You eat really well.
Yeah.
You're very healthy. You don't have bad habits in that sense. So this wasn't something in your full control, really, at all.
No.
And it happened
really quickly.
Weeks, if not.
Within 6 months. And then I'm also like joint aches and stuff. And I've been reading that women in the past were prescribed arthritis medication because they weren't understanding it was hormonal. So there's a lot of things happening for me in the last year. And it's been fascinating. Fortunately, I have good self-talk and I'm working through it in my mind. But I guess where I'm going with it is I am looking at my habits and I am looking at how I work out, and I'm starting to lift weights, because for me, I want to do this more naturally through diet and exercise and work out how, because I want to make sure I age healthily. It's been a challenge, and I've had moments of rage, and I've had, my hormones. It's weird. It's a weird time, wheels on the bus, weird time.
Just in talking about it with you, and we've discussed it obviously as friends, the thing, habits are important, but it's also looking at the ones you have to change. So we're both seeing the same trainer who you're going to hear from.
Yes. Coming up as a cool kid.
As a cool kid.
She's
our
great.
Lovely trainer, PT Tuesday.
So gorgeous.
So it's perfect to talk about her because she's on this episode. But she's tailoring what we need to do, considering the age or the place that we're in.
Yeah.
And so her advice to both of us is we do need to do more weight training. Whereas, you could continue doing other things and going, but I'm exercising and I'm healthy. But I know, and you're going to...
I'm even walking 10,000 steps a day. I'm taking this seriously.
But sometimes, and I'm hearing this more and more, and this is music to my ears, it's too much cardio or too much of the wrong thing actually has the opposite effect, because it raises your cortisol. It doesn't work with where your body's at. So it's really important to go find out what that is for you.
What works, right? Because
it's different for all of us.
That's the key.
And it's not about overdoing it. It's not about being necessarily at the gym or doing 10,000 steps every day. That works for you. Because
so far.
See. But we'll see. Tomorrow it might change.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about someone you've come across
as a result of this. So when I was going through all of this, I was like, I started researching what I need to do, right? So just increasing protein, some of the things that science is now showing us as we age, as all genders, increase protein, strength training, move your body. Like there's a lot in there. So I was researching it and I came across somebody called Daisy. Dr. Stacy Sims.
Otherwise known as Daisy.
Yeah. Wow. But Dr. Stacy Sims, I remember hearing I think it was a YouTube video, and she's the one that actually put me on to protein coffees, which is what we spoke about in our previous episode. And what's really fascinating is she has a stance on women and men, and that for up until the 90s, I believe is what she said, in medicine, women were looked at as small men. And what's come out of that is that there's a science for training and nutrition and recovery protocols that's very different for women, to the fact where I thought, I have to go into cold plunges and do a lot of cold therapy. But there's actually a lot of science on how cold it should be for a woman, and it's quite different from a man. I'm not going to go into the science in this episode or anything. Listen to Dr. Stacy Sims.
Yeah.
But she was a turning point for me to actually go into a mindset of I can be proactive with this,
Yeah, that you have to find the different answers
that work for you.
And
test and trial them and stay positive in your mind on where you go with them.
yeah, just as a side note, that you told me about the don't do the super cold plunge.
Yeah.
You sort of can do the medium plunge or the cryotherapy, which we do.
Different.
So working out things like cold plunge are having such a cultural moment, and cold therapy in general, is incredible, but it's not going, okay, I've got to do cold therapy. It's knowing when, how, which one. And that's the same with everything. What protein, what weight training, is it walking? Is it at certain times of the month, different things work better, or at certain points in your life? Before we hand over to the experts, including Tuesday, our lovely PT, I wanted to stand on a bit of a positive note as well. Whilst our wheels are rolling down the street sometimes and we're going on 2 wheels instead of 4,
Yes.
I still feel the same inside. I don't see myself as old. I'm still that girl who loves the same things, likes to dress up, likes to travel with her bestie. That's her, by the way. And likes to giggle and be silly and meet new people and be excitable. I think sometimes you can, in the face of not feeling great physically, you can dull all of that down. And I get that. But that's the one thing I refuse to do. No matter where the wheels are on any given moment, I'm still me inside. And whatever in that day that I can give of that me, it might not be what I could do yesterday. I might not skip down the street today because I don't feel well. I could do that again tomorrow. But I might still have a great conversation with a friend, or show some compassion to someone, or watch something funny, and still take joy in life and who I am at my core.
I love that. So I'd like to leave you guys with this. If this resonates with you and you're feeling like you might be a little bit out of whack, wherever you are in your life, just think about the wheels on the bus are falling off. We hope you have a good little laugh about it.
Yeah, and as long as you've got 1 or 2 on the road,
you're good to go.
You're good to go. That's all you need. All right, let's hear from our friends and experts.
This is where we share voices worth listening to on today's topic. Good to know. Up next.
Hi, I'm Baxter. I'm a yoga therapist. I've been working with midlife women now for the last 7 years, specializing in this field because I think it's an incredible opportunity, this transformational stage that we're currently in, to really skill up and learn more about ourselves as we're faced with new challenges in life. And those new challenges can either really throw you for a 6 or enable you to learn new skills that's going to set you up for Act 3. So if you don't like how your body's aging, and that's really common in women, as is self-doubt and as is loss of confidence, because we no longer can identify with ourselves now versus the person we once were. And if we're not enjoying the changes with the lack of energy and brain fog and all the other stuff that goes with it, then what do we need to do so that we can change the whole story and enjoy aging so that we can set ourselves up for a really wonderful Act 3? Now, this is all about the mind, and yoga therapy really specializes in training the mind to get on board with the body's wisdom. Your body is an incredibly intelligent organism. It knows exactly what to do. But if the mind doesn't know how to pay attention to these signs and symptoms, it won't know how to support this natural aging process. So all we need to do is to train the mind. And when it's on board, there's harmony now between the mind and the body. Because as we know, body follows mind and mind follows body. You can't separate them. When there's harmony there, then you get to access what I call the blue zone, that deeper instinct that's in us all the time, just waiting to reveal itself when everything's in balance. And when that happens, you connect into a much deeper wisdom that's going to help you guide yourself through your entire life. And that's going to be the difference between either enjoying life or enduring life, which includes how you see your body and the rate at which it ages. We can control these things to a degree, but only if the mind's on board. So the first step really is to, want to make some changes in your life. And you can absolutely do this, but it helps to seek guidance. And so collecting knowledge is great, but then we need to comply. We need to do the knowledge. So you need to trust the process. You need to work with someone who can offer the structure for you based on an assessment of who you are, and which includes like your special needs, your anatomy, your lifelong conditionings and experiences. We're all very unique beings. So your structure could be very different to somebody else's. And that's why it really pays to seek advice and guidance from people in this space who can help you get back on track and then stay on track. That's what I would advise anyone in midlife right now to do. I think it's a wonderful, powerful opportunity, and I think our best years can still lay ahead of us. So good luck out there.
Next up, we hand things over to someone younger to decode a trend, a slang word, or something we've missed. All right, let's get the cool kids to explain.
My name is Tuesday and I'm 29 years old and I am a performance coach at St. Haven in North Sydney. And I think my idea of how your body changes when you get older has not necessarily been a positive one, if I'm going to be honest. And I think that has kind of stemmed from the women in my life when I was growing up and their relationship with their body. And not that this is their fault at all, but I would say when my mum talks about her bingo wings, or when she would like prod her tummy and call it flabby and things like that. And I think my impression was that just everything went downhill, and literally downhill. That wasn't necessarily something I was looking forward to. It's not necessarily something I'm looking forward to still to this day. However, I think actually within my job and working with women who are a little bit older than me, I would say that actually seeing their confidence and seeing their energy and their positivity and their youthfulness in just everyday life and everything that they do has definitely changed my opinion of that massively. And I think now it's not something where I'm like, oh, life really ends and your confidence just really goes down and you have to change everything you wear and cover up your arms and stuff like that. And I think now I'm like excited to gain this confidence and to have this positive energy. And I actually think for myself as well, I think back to when I was like 14, 15 years old, and yeah, I hated my stretch marks and I didn't realize that they were normal. And now the more we age, the more we talk about these things, the more confident we become and the stronger our relationships are with other women as well. Having those relationships and talking about these things just makes you realize it's so normal and it does not have to impact what you wear, how you go about day-to-day life. Why should we have to cover up our imperfections when they are just so normal and everyone has them, and it shouldn't change how confident you are or how you show up in work? I've noticed that more in working so closely with the members that I have at St. Haven. And yeah, I've got to say, Heather and Elli, your energy, like absolute goals. Like honestly, it's just got me excited to age, if I'm honest. Like, I want that level of confidence. I want that amount of energy. And it definitely just shows the smile on your face, and the energy that you bring to people is so much more important than your body changing at the end of the day.
Every episode, we pause for wisdom from someone who's been through it and learned a thing or two. Here's a word from the wise.
You cover up as much as you can as you get older. I remember one of my friends telling me that. She was like 86 and a painter, and I was quite young then, and she said, as you get older, you must cover up more, right? Meaning around your chest and neck and elbows, knees. Just about everything starts to deteriorate. But I personally think that I've been blessed with a really good genetic body and skin. So I'm lucky for my age, I think. People tell me that. The dermatologist told me that, right? But it's still heading south, right? And having had 4 children, I can't believe the skin on my stomach these days. Not good. I never thought that'd happen because it always bounced back after pregnancy. I've never ever had a stretch mark or anything like that in my life. And the hair thins out as you get older. That's not fair. Half a head of hair that I used to have, right? And then you lose fat on the bottom of your feet. How unfair is that? Right? It's not fat anywhere else, on your feet. So shoes become harder to wear because you lose fat on the bottom of your feet as you get older. And then you lose water in your face and whatever, so your nose and your ears get bigger as you get older, apparently. So I'm looking in the mirror looking for that. Can't see it myself, but probably happening. So no, it's not very pretty getting older, but I'm very lucky for what I've got in term, I think. Make the most of what you're given, basically. And I think I do that. Having interest in what's happening in the world keeps you young too. Being interested in new music, new everything, whatever it is, whatever style's coming in, what people are saying, young people especially, right, what they're saying, that keeps you young. And that's a good feeling, I think. Yeah, good to have that. As I said, I like intergenerational friendship, like older people as well as young people. But I think you've really got to have an eye on what's happening in the world, right? Without being depressed about it. I mean, some people get very serious about it, but I don't think I do that. I like to take interest, like I'm interested in the latest music with the K-pop, but not only that, but what the kids are listening to, and they tell me about it. And I think you've really got to take an interest in that. That keeps you younger. And I think 50 is the new 30. So, like the 70 is the new 60 to me, right? Really. I don't think we're old like our parents were or the grandparents. Like, that has so changed. Like, you can go out now and buy clothes and think, not too young for you, but you can still look like you're up to date with what's happening in the world, really. And people can do that at 90. You see those women in New York and all over the place, really, all over the world. You see it more and more now, older women who are cutting edge, basically. Yeah, so that's up to you. To just, be interested in what's happening around, what's happening in the world, everywhere. Fashion, art, politics, anything, everything. Be interested in it all. That'll keep you young.
So by now you know that sometimes the wheels on the bus do fall off. That is the reality. But don't stop paying attention to the small things, you guys, that could make a really big difference in your life. And if you know a friend or a person that's maybe feeling a little bit at war with their reflection in the mirror, maybe they could use with a bit of a different framing around changes in your body as you get older, send this to them, please.
And next week, what if how you dress in the morning is actually how you talk to yourself for the rest of the day? Turns out something good might be closer than you think.